Are the Toronto Maple Leafs on the brink of a game-changing trade? With injuries piling up and key players sidelined, the buzz around the team is heating up. While a major acquisition may not be imminent, fans are eagerly speculating about potential moves that could reshape the roster. Stay tuned as we dive into the latest rumors and insights. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button to keep up with all things Leafs. Hey, Leafs Nation! Today, we're diving into the latest buzz surrounding our Toronto Maple Leafs and the impending trade talks that could shape the rest of our season. As the injuries pile up, David Kampf, Kalle Järnkrok, Max Pacioretty, Austin Matthews, Bobby McMahon, and the recent suspension of Ryan Reeves, it's clear our depth is being truly tested. With so many key players sidelined, we've seen some unexpected faces stepping up, like Nikita Grabenkin, Alex Steeves, Alex Nylander, and young Fraser Minton. It's a mixed bag, isn't it? While Nylander's stint hasn't been stellar, Grabenkin's situation is intriguing, considering he didn't have to go through waivers. And then there's Minton, who's been nothing short of impressive, even if he had to jump straight into the NHL. It's a tough spot for GM Brad Treliving as he navigates this challenging landscape, looking for ways to bolster our forward group. Now, Dave Pagnotta from the fourth period has provided some insight into when we might see some action on the trade front. With the roster freeze set to kick in on December 20th and lasting until December 28th, it's unlikely that we'll see any major moves before the new year. A push for a veteran presence doesn't seem imminent either, but that doesn't mean Treliving isn't busy. He's reportedly digging deep into the market, compiling a list of potential targets for later in the campaign. One name that keeps coming up in these discussions is Brock Nelson from the New York Islanders. With the Islanders struggling, and with Lou Lamoriello, a familiar face from our past, at the helm, it wouldn't be shocking if Treliving makes a play for the 33-year-old, pending UFA. But for now, it looks like our best bet is to stick with rookie Fraser Minton and the other available players as a temporary solution. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a mix of hope and anxiety here. Are we doing enough to keep our playoff dreams alive? The uncertainty can be tough, but it's also part of the game. As we look ahead, these decisions will undoubtedly impact our chances this season. The question looms: is this the right path for Treliving and the Leafs? I'm honestly torn. We need to balance the immediate needs with our long-term goals, and that's no easy task. What do you think? Do you believe waiting it out and keeping an eye on the trade market is the right call? Or should we be making bolder moves right now to ensure we remain competitive? I want to hear your thoughts. Let's get a discussion going in the comments below. As we navigate through this challenging phase, it's essential to remember that every decision made now could resonate throughout the rest of the season. Our hopes for a deep playoff run hinge on these strategic choices. So, engage with me. What's your take on Treliving's approach? Are you feeling optimistic, or do you have some reservations? I'm genuinely interested in your perspectives. John Tavares has been a hot topic among Toronto Maple Leafs fans lately, and for good reason. When he signed that massive 7-year, $77 million contract back in 2018, expectations soared. Many believed that Tavares would be the missing piece to finally bring the Stanley Cup to Toronto. Fast forward to today, and while he's been an offensive powerhouse, the team has faltered in the playoffs, leading to a fair amount of scrutiny directed at him. Let's be honest, folks. The Maple Leafs have had some solid regular seasons since Tavares joined the squad, but just one playoff series victory? That's a tough pill to swallow. Criticism comes with the territory, especially when you're making $11 million a year. But I think it's time we reevaluate how we view Tavares. He has consistently produced, racking up points and goals, and he's still playing at a high level. In fact, he's been quite the contributor this season with 15 goals and 28 points in just 30 games. That's not too shabby for a 34-year-old. right? When we look back at his time with the New York Islanders, Tavares was a game changer. He led the Isles in scoring for 7 out of 9 seasons and helped elevate the games of those around him. It's hard to ignore that type of impact. Then he came to Toronto and made an immediate splash, scoring 47 goals and 88 points in his first season. That's exactly what we thought we were getting when he signed with us. But let's not sugarcoat it. The playoffs have been a different story. Just 24 points in 38 postseason games, that's not what you want to see from your captain when the stakes are at their highest. Now, some fans argue that he's overpaid based on his playoff performance. And while I can see where they're coming from, it's essential to separate the contract from the player. If you take away the salary and just look at the stats, Tavares is still a first-line talent in the NHL. He's consistently been near a point-per-game player, which speaks volumes about his skill and dedication. So, has his stock dropped because of his contract? Absolutely. But should that overshadow his contributions? I'm not convinced it should. And let's talk about Team Canada. How in the world does Tavares get overlooked for the upcoming Four Nations face-off? I mean, with the numbers he's putting up, it's hard to wrap my head around it. It feels like he's being unjustly sidelined in favor of other names, and that's frustrating as a fan. He deserves that recognition, and honestly, it feels like a slight. So, what do we do with Tavares? Do we continue to criticize him for not living up to the lofty expectations that come with that contract? Or do we appreciate what he brings to the table each game? I'm personally torn. On one hand, I understand the frustrations. This is Toronto after all, and we have a rich history of wanting success. But on the other hand, I see a player who continues to contribute significantly to our offense. As we look ahead, it's crucial for the Maple Leafs to maximize Tavares' talent while also addressing the larger issues that have plagued the team in the playoffs. Can we find a way to better support him and the other star players during those crucial moments? That's the million-dollar question. And you, what do you think? Was signing Tavares the best move for the Leafs? Or do you agree that we might be overlooking just how valuable he still is? I want to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Share your expectations, frustrations, and hopes for the team moving forward. If you enjoyed this discussion and want to stay updated on all things Maple Leafs, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, activate that notification bell so you don't miss any essential updates. Let's keep this conversation going, because at the end of the day, we're all rooting for the same team. Go Leafs!